First off, I just want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope you guys enjoy the future content. I received several requests at this point to make a video talking about how to successfully balance the rigors of working a full-time job that's heavy in manual labor with the additional stresses imposed by consistent heavy weight training, while still allowing for good progress to be made in the gym, both in terms of strength and muscle growth. Those of you who have watched some of my older videos have heard me mention a time or two that I used to work full-time in a job that involved moderate amounts of physical labor, along with a whole lot of cumulative walking on a daily basis. In spite of this, during this time period, I was able to successfully squat every single day for several consecutive months, about which culminated in a string of huge squat PRs and ultimately my first ever 5-plate squat. About a year after that, I was able to hit my first ever 500-pound squat along with a 585-pound deadlift, and a few months after that, I was able to total 1,300 pounds at 148 in my first ever powerlifting competition. This was all accomplished while working 40 hours a week, much of it spent on my feet, and shuffling around and working on heavy appliances for a large portion of the day. So today, I'm going to give you guys the 5 key guidelines and tricks that I used during this time period to allow myself to make great progress in the gym in spite of working a tough physical job. So let's get to it. The first tip I have for you guys is something practiced by all high-level athletes, because it not only creates the optimal situation for recovery to take place, but it also creates a predictable training environment. And that is, you need to get on a consistent schedule. This should be pretty easy to do because most physical and skilled trade jobs operate on a very regimented schedule as it is. Clock in at this time and clock out at this time. When you're at work, you're at work. And when you're off work, you're off work. And knowing exactly when you'll be at work and when you'll be able to leave makes it easy for you to schedule the rest of your day as well. You should try to eat at the same time every single day, lift at the same time every single day, get to sleep at the same time every single day, and wake up at the same time every single day. The deeper you can etch this cyclical routine into your brain, the better off you'll be. Falling asleep will become easy, allowing you to wake up feeling refreshed, recovered, and rejuvenated, ready to tackle another hard day at work, followed by another hard day at your second job, which is training at the gym. This also removes the variables that would otherwise exist from fluctuating circadian rhythms. You'll get hungry at the same times, you'll get tired at the same times, and your body will be ready to perform at the same times, making your training much more consistent and predictable, and therefore much more productive as well. I personally enjoy having everything on a set routine like this because it's simply in my nature. And I always try to keep as consistent of a schedule as possible, regardless of what my work constraints are. And elite athletes across the world have shown us that the best way to thrive is through routine. And even though ours may not be able to be quite as optimal as theirs, mimicking this ideology as closely as possible is still the best way forward. My second tip for you guys is to increase the number of calories you're eating. When I got settled into my previous job, one of the first things I did was scope out the best place to grab a high-calorie, high-nutrition lunch every single day. If you watched my old video called Diet of an Elite Powerlifter, you know that ultimately what I settled on was Chipotle. I used to get a chicken burrito with double meat, double beans, along with a side of chips and some guacamole every single day. If you go to Chipotle's website and plug the exact meal I used to eat every day for lunch into their nutrition calculator, it comes out to about 2,300 calories. This super high calorie and highly nutritious lunch was an easy and delicious way for me to drastically increase my caloric intake from its baseline number. Coupled with a good breakfast and a large dinner, I was eating over 4,000 calories per day while only weighing between 155 and 160 pounds myself. And clearly my body needed every single calorie because my body weight never really changed during this time period. I was, however, able to consistently recover from all the physical work at my job as well as the difficult heavy lifting in the gym and still make awesome strength gains. Now the important part here is the increasing of the caloric intake from the baseline number that it's currently at. If you're eating 2,500 calories a day right now, try eating 2,800 or 3,000 for a few weeks and see how that affects your body composition and day-to-day recovery, both at work and in the gym. My third tip is to save your hardest sessions of the week for the weekend, when your daily stress level will be much lower because, well, you don't have to go to work. For instance, when I did my daily squatting program, I took my PR squat from 460 pounds up to 495 pounds over the course of a few months. But every single PR I hit during that time period was done on a Saturday. I squatted PR singles at 465 pounds, 475 pounds, 480 pounds, 485 pounds, 490 pounds, and finally 495 pounds. And they were all done on Saturday. I still squatted every day during the week, but I knew that the numbers being down 5 to 10% from what they were over the previous weekend was no big deal, because once I was just a little bit more recovered, they bounced right back up. It's not like I really even felt noticeably more fatigued or anything during the week, but that decent amount of extra physical work every day was still enough to transiently decrease my strength ever so slightly. So in light of that, even when I wasn't squatting every day, I realized it made the most sense to simply schedule 2 sessions every week that were a little bit more involved and difficult, whether that be in the form of greater volumes or greater intensities, and save those for the weekend. And then do any lower volume or lower stress sessions during the week. My fourth tip for you guys is my personal favorite, and it's my secret weapon when it comes to consistently having great training sessions, even when life is throwing you curveballs and stress levels are high and recovery may be suboptimal. Take a nap. Personally, I opt for 15 to 20 minutes in the early afternoon if possible. When I was in college, I used to work during the summer as a carpenter, and I had to wake up at the ass crack of dawn every single day. And trust me, I am not a morning person, but I was given a half-hour break in the morning to eat breakfast and a half an hour again in the afternoon to eat lunch. So at each break, I would take the first 10 minutes to eat my food, and then I would nap away the next 20. At my previous job, I didn't have as much of an opportunity to catch naps during the day, so I would come home and immediately take a 15 to 20 minute nap, wake up, drink a cup of coffee, and then get ready to hit the weights. These quick power naps leave me feeling refreshed and rejuvenated for hours, even if I didn't manage to get a great night's sleep the night before. The nap essentially acts as a cheat code that leaves me feeling strong and energetic, in spite of possibly being transiently sleep deprived. There's been plenty of research at this point on the benefits of taking a short power nap every day in terms of improved cognition, alertness, motor skills, reaction time, etc. And adding in the caffeine is like a double whammy, especially if your goal is to lift big weights when you wake up. In my experience, this little trick works like a charm, and if you take it to heart, it's probably the most helpful piece of advice I can give you for this endeavor. With it, you'll be able to consistently log productive workouts in spite of the high physical demands of your everyday life. And the little bit of extra sleep will not only leave you feeling more energetic than you otherwise would have been, but it'll also help to provide your body with more recovery time. Even just 15 minutes a day is more than an extra hour and a half of sleep per week. And over time, that really adds up. My fifth and final tip for you guys is more of a mindset thing than anything else. And it may not be for everyone, but it's always worked for me. And that is, treat your training like it's part of your job. When you're off the clock, you've still got one more task left to complete, and then your work is done for the day. This little shift in mindset from treating it like it's something that's merely optional to something that is simply mandatory can really help to push you through those tough days when you're feeling sore and tired. Yes, this may make your training less fun, but the satisfaction isn't really derived from that anyway. Certainly not for people who stick with it in the long run. The satisfaction is derived from the process and from the joy of realizing all that you've accomplished and all that you're capable of. Plus, 20 years from now, you'll be glad you stuck it out even though you were tired and it seemed like a chore, because you won't have achy knees and a sore back like your brethren who came home and flopped their ass onto the couch with a six-pack for the rest of the night. Anyway, that's all I got for now, guys. Please be sure to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. If you've got any tips of your own, feel free to share them with everyone else in the comments. And if you try out any of my tips, be sure to let me know how they work out for you. Other than that, if you enjoy the content I produce, please share your favorite stuff somewhere, and together, let's make Forest of Wolves Gym one of the biggest fitness channels on YouTube. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.